Clutter doesn't just sit quietly in your home. It slowly steals your peace of mind, your safety, and even your joy. And here's the shocking truth. Researchers have found that clutter raises stress levels, clouds memory, and makes daily life feel heavier than it needs to be. That's why if you're a senior heading into 2025, you simply can't afford to ignore it. Because in just 30 days, you could transform your home into a place of calm, safety, and freedom. But only if you start today. Imagine this, 30 days from now, walking into a space where you can finally breathe. No more tripping over boxes. No more searching for misplaced glasses or unpaid bills. No more weight of the past pressing down on every corner. Just clarity, calm, and a home that feels like a sanctuary again. And I'll be honest with you. Skip even one part of this plan, and you may miss the breakthrough that could finally free you from years of overwhelm. But follow each step day by day, and you'll discover that decluttering isn't about losing things. It's about gaining back your peace, your confidence, and your independence. So stay with me until the very end, because this 30-day declutter plan isn't just another list. It's the roadmap seniors across the world are using to reclaim their best years in 2025. As we enter 2025, many seniors are realizing something important. Clutter isn't just about things lying around. It's about the way it quietly shapes your mood, your energy, and even your health. I want to introduce you to someone whose story may sound familiar. Her name is Eleanor, a 74-year-old retired teacher who has lived in the same home for more than 4 decades. Over the years, her house filled with books, keepsakes, holiday decorations, and boxes she always meant to get to later. Eleanor told me she often felt exhausted even before she started her day. She would walk into her living room, see the stacks of papers and overflowing shelves, and immediately feel drained. At first, she thought it was just age catching up with her. But what she didn't realize was that the clutter was silently stealing her energy and her peace of mind. And Eleanor is not alone. Studies show that clutter raises stress hormones like cortisol, which in turn makes you feel tired, foggy, and anxious. That's why experts now say decluttering isn't just about creating space. It's about protecting your mental health and physical well-being. This is where the 30-day declutter plan comes in. It's not about tackling everything at once. It's about small, simple steps that rebuild your energy, your confidence, and your joy, just like Eleanor discovered when she finally took that first step. So, if you've been waiting for the right time to declutter, this is it. Because every day you delay is another day your home weighs you down instead of lifting you up. When most people think about clutter, they picture messy rooms or too many belongings. But the truth is, clutter has a deeper impact, especially for seniors. It's not just physical, it's emotional and even biological. Scientists at UCLA studied families living in cluttered homes and discovered something eye-opening. The women in those households had significantly higher cortisol levels, the hormone our bodies release when we're stressed. Over time, high cortisol doesn't just make us anxious. It leaves us feeling constantly tired, foggy, and even less motivated to take care of ourselves. And here's where it gets personal for older women. As we age, our bodies naturally need more rest, more balance, and more peace. But clutter works against that. Every pile of paper, every drawer jammed with old items, every shelf packed with things we don't use. It all acts like a visual alarm bell for the brain, constantly shouting, "There's more to do. You're not finished." Eleanor once told me, "I thought my body was slowing down. But once I started clearing just my kitchen table, I realized I wasn't just tired from age. I was tired from looking at all the unfinished business around me." This is why clutter feels so heavy. It doesn't just take up space. It steals focus, drains energy, and creates a background hum of stress that never truly lets your mind or body rest. The first step to real change is understanding this. Clutter isn't harmless. It's one of the silent reasons so many seniors feel weary, overwhelmed, and disconnected from joy. And once we see clutter as a health risk, not just a housekeeping issue, we finally have the power to do something about it. For many seniors, clutter isn't about laziness or carelessness. It's about love, memories, and the fear of letting go. Each object feels like a piece of our story. Photos, clothes, souvenirs, gifts from children, or items that once belonged to someone we deeply loved. Eleanor shared something that brought tears to my eyes. She kept every holiday card her late husband had ever given her, 42 years worth, stacked in shoeboxes under her bed. She said, "If I throw them away, it feels like I'm throwing him away." And I know many of you may have felt that same ache. But here's the truth psychologists want us to remember. Our memories don't live in the objects. They live in us. In our hearts, in our stories, in the way we share and pass them on. Holding on to too much can actually blur those memories instead of keeping them sharp. One woman told me she had kept every toy her children ever played with. But when she walked into that room full of boxes, she didn't feel joy, she felt suffocated. Only after she chose one or two toys to display did the memories actually feel sweet again, instead of overwhelming. And that's the burden clutter places on us. It confuses love with accumulation, convinces us that letting go means forgetting. But in reality, decluttering is about honoring the most important memories and releasing the rest so they don't weigh us down. Eleanor eventually chose a handful of her husband's cards to keep in a memory box, and she said something powerful. "Now, when I open the box, I smile. Before, when I saw the piles, I only cried." Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means making space for joy, for healing, and for the life we're still living today. Have you ever noticed how just walking into a cluttered room makes you feel tired, even if you haven't lifted a finger yet? That's not your imagination. Science has an explanation. Every item in your home, whether it's useful or not, competes for your brain's attention. Researchers at Princeton University discovered that clutter actually reduces your brain's ability to focus and process information. It's like trying to read a book while 10 people are talking in your ear. Even if you're not actively looking at the piles, your brain is still working overtime to process them. And that constant mental noise leaves you exhausted. For seniors, the effect is even stronger. As we age, our brains naturally filter information a little slower. Add clutter into the mix, and it's like carrying around mental weights all day long. That's why so many older women say, "I feel drained before I even start my chores." Eleanor once told me that after clearing just her living room coffee table, she felt a strange lightness, like she could breathe deeper. Nothing else in the room had changed, but that one clear surface gave her back energy she didn't even realize she'd been losing. And here's another piece of the puzzle. Clutter forces us into decision fatigue. Every time you see a drawer full of old clothes or a stack of unread magazines, your brain whispers, "Should I deal with this? Keep it. Toss it." You might not notice it in the moment, but those tiny decisions pile up, draining your mental energy before you've even started your day. That's why clutter is more than a housekeeping issue. It's a health issue. It silently steals your focus, your stamina, and your joy. But the moment you start clearing even one space, you give your brain the relief it's been begging for. Decluttering doesn't just create space in your home, it gives you back energy to live your life fully. One of the most dangerous lies clutter tells us is this: "I'll deal with it later." But later almost always becomes never. And the longer we wait, the heavier the weight becomes, physically, mentally, and emotionally. For seniors, delaying decluttering has real costs. Safety is the first one. Studies from the CDC show that cluttered walkways, stacked boxes, or items left on the floor increase the risk of falls, a leading cause of injury among older adults. A fall can take away independence in seconds, and often it's not just the fall itself, but the months of recovery that follow. The second cost is stress. The National Institute on Aging has found that stress hormones like cortisol rise in cluttered environments. And high cortisol over time doesn't just make us anxious, it weakens the immune system, disrupts sleep, and speeds up fatigue. In other words, the clutter you see every day is quietly chipping away at your health. And then there's the emotional cost. Every pile of clutter is a silent reminder of unfinished tasks, of things left undone. Eleanor once admitted to me, "Each time I passed by the boxes in my hallway, I felt like I had failed." The clutter didn't just take up space, it whispered guilt into her everyday life. Here's the truth we can't ignore in 2025. The longer clutter stays, the harder it is to face. That's why organizing experts say the best time to begin is now, before it grows bigger, before it steals more energy, before it risks your safety. The cost of delay isn't just a messy home. It's your health, your peace, and your freedom. And none of those are worth losing to clutter. Eleanor's story is one that has stayed with me because it shows what happens when clutter goes from being a quiet burden to a breaking point. At 73, she had lived in her home for over 40 years. Every corner held memories. Her children's school projects, souvenirs from trips, stacks of magazines she meant to read, and clothes she swore she'd wear again one day. At first, she told herself it wasn't that bad. But slowly, the clutter began creeping into every room, until she barely had space to move freely. The turning point came one night when she tripped over a box in the hallway on her way to the bathroom. She wasn't badly hurt, but she said it felt like a wake-up call. She realized that the things she was keeping for comfort were actually putting her independence at risk. That same week, Eleanor confided in her daughter, who gently asked, "Mom, do you want this house to hold your memories or hold you back?" Those words sank deep into her heart. So she started small. One drawer, one nightstand, one basket of papers. She didn't try to do it all at once. And with each small step, she felt something shifting inside her. She told me, "When I cleared that first space, I felt like I could breathe again. It wasn't just my home, it was my mind that felt lighter." What struck me most was what she said months later. "I thought decluttering would mean losing memories. Instead, it gave me room to make new ones." Eleanor's story is a reminder that decluttering isn't about shame or perfection. It's about courage. The courage to let go of what no longer serves you, so you can live the life you still have with freedom, peace, and dignity. Have you ever walked into a tidy hotel room or a freshly cleaned space and instantly felt calmer, even if nothing in your life had changed? That feeling isn't just in your imagination. It's science at work. Research from UCLA's Center on Everyday Lives of Families showed that women living in cluttered homes had higher levels of cortisol, the stress hormone. And here's the problem. When cortisol stays elevated for too long, it doesn't just make you feel tense. It damages sleep quality, weakens your immune system, and even accelerates aging. Think about it like this. Clutter is a silent stress trigger. Every pile of papers, every overflowing closet, every messy surface signals to your brain that there's unfinished business. Even when you're sitting down to rest, your environment keeps your body in a state of alert. No wonder so many seniors say, "I feel tired even after I've rested." Decluttering reverses that stress cycle. A study from the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that people who described their homes as restful and restorative reported lower levels of depression and fatigue. Simply put, when your space feels lighter, your spirit feels lighter too. Eleanor told me that after clearing her living room, she noticed her blood pressure was lower at her next doctor's appointment. She laughed and said, "Who knew tossing out old magazines could be better than medicine?" Of course, decluttering isn't a replacement for medical care, but it shows us how deeply our surroundings influence our health. When we declutter, we aren't just making space for beauty, we're reducing the silent stress that eats away at our peace of mind. That's why experts call decluttering one of the simplest, most overlooked forms of self-care for seniors. Now that we understand the science and the risks, let's move into something practical. The 2025 step-by-step declutter plan that doctors, psychologists, and organizing experts are encouraging seniors to follow. Here's the truth. Decluttering can feel overwhelming when you think of it as one giant task. But when you break it down into clear, simple steps, it becomes manageable, even empowering. Step 1. Start small, start visible. Pick one space you see every day. Your nightstand, kitchen counter, or favorite chair. Clearing just that area gives you an immediate sense of calm. Think of it as your breathing space. Step 2. Prioritize safety. Doctors emphasize this more than anything else. Clear walkways, remove clutter from stairs, get rid of broken furniture, and make sure nothing blocks your emergency exits. This isn't just decluttering, it's fall prevention and independence protection. Step 3. Create a home for essentials. Find one designated spot for glasses, keys, medications, and phone chargers. Having a home for these items saves energy and reduces stress every single day. Step 4. Tackle emotional hotspots last. That means photos, heirlooms, letters, or clothes from loved ones. These items carry the most emotional weight and can slow you down. Once you've built momentum, you'll be in a stronger position to decide what truly matters. Step 5. Make it routine. Decluttering is not a one-time job. It's a rhythm. Experts recommend 15 minutes a day, or one small area per week. That way, it never piles up again. I remember Eleanor, the woman I introduced earlier. She started with just her kitchen counter and was amazed by how much calmer it made her feel. That one victory gave her the courage to clear her hallway the next week. Within a month, she said she felt like her home had transformed, not because she worked harder, but because she worked smarter. This step-by-step plan isn't about speed or perfection. It's about steady, gentle progress that restores peace, order, and dignity in your daily life. And in 2025, there's no better time to begin than now. Decluttering isn't just about making space. It's about healing the heart. For many older women, every object in the home carries a story. A birthday card from a child now grown, a sweater from a loved one who has passed, or even a stack of photographs from decades gone by. Letting go of these things can feel like letting go of pieces of ourselves. But here's what psychologists remind us. Our memories are not stored in the objects. They are stored in us. The love, the laughter, the moments we cherish. They live in our hearts, not in boxes gathering dust. I once spoke with a woman named Margaret who had kept every single holiday decoration her family ever used. She admitted she felt crushed every time she opened her storage closet because it reminded her of the years that had slipped away. When she finally let go of the excess, keeping only the pieces that brought her true joy, she said, "It feels like I can breathe again. I didn't lose my memories, I found peace." Science supports her experience. Researchers in cognitive psychology say that holding on to too many sentimental objects actually blurs the sharpness of our memories. It's like having too many pictures in a photo album. You stop noticing the special ones because everything is crammed together. By letting go of the excess, you allow your most precious memories to stand out more vividly. Eleanor told me that decluttering her late husband's closet was the hardest thing she had ever done. She cried through most of it. But when she kept just one sweater, the one he wore every Christmas, she said it brought her more comfort than keeping every piece of clothing ever had. "Now," she told me, "when I hold that sweater, I feel close to him instead of buried under grief." This is the hidden gift of decluttering. It doesn't erase your past. It makes space for your past to shine while allowing you to live fully in your present. And for seniors especially, that emotional lightness is just as important as the physical lightness. Sometimes the most powerful lessons don't come from studies or experts, but from the lives of everyday seniors who chose to take action. Take Helen, age 72. For years, she avoided her dining room because the table had become a mountain of papers, mail, and random clutter. She confessed to me, "I couldn't even remember the last time I sat there to eat." But in early 2025, she committed to clearing just 15 minutes a day. By the end of the month, she sat at her table again, eating breakfast with sunlight streaming in. With tears in her eyes, she said, "It felt like I got a piece of my life back." Then there's Robert, 75, a retired teacher. His garage was so full that he couldn't park his car inside anymore. He told me he avoided it because it made him feel like a failure. But when his granddaughter asked why he never let her ride her bike inside the garage like her friends did, he realized the clutter wasn't just his problem, it was affecting his family. In 2025, he finally cleared it out. He didn't just reclaim space for his car. He reclaimed space for joy with his granddaughter. And Margaret, age 78, who lived alone after her husband passed. She confessed that her closet felt like a shrine, overflowing with his old clothes. She said, "I thought keeping them meant I was keeping him close." But the truth was, it was suffocating her with grief. In 2025, with the support of her daughter, she let most of it go, keeping only a few special items. Later she told me, "For the first time in years, I don't feel weighed down when I open that door. I feel free." Each of these seniors discovered something powerful. Decluttering wasn't just about clearing rooms. It was about reclaiming their peace, their dignity, and their joy. Their stories remind us that no matter your age, no matter how heavy the clutter feels, change is possible. And sometimes all it takes is one drawer, one corner, or one brave step forward to begin. Now that we've heard the science, the risks, and the real stories, let's turn all of this into something practical you can start today. Experts say the most effective way for seniors to declutter without overwhelm is to follow a gentle 30-day plan. One step a day, each one small, but together they create life-changing results. Here's how it works. Day 1 to 5. Quick wins. Start with daily use spaces like your nightstand or kitchen counter. Clear just one surface at a time, and enjoy the immediate relief of seeing progress. Day 6 to 10. Safety sweep. Walk through your home and remove tripping hazards, expired medicines, or broken items that threaten your independence. Every item you clear is a step toward protecting your future. Day 11 to 15. Clothing reset. Focus on one drawer or section of your closet each day. Keep what fits and feels good now. Release the rest with gratitude. Day 16 to 20. Paper control. Sort through your mail, receipts, or old files. Use a simple system to do, to keep, or recycle. Keep the piles from stealing your peace. Day 21 to 25. Sentimental sorting. By now, you'll have built momentum. Choose one small box of keepsakes to sort. Keep only what truly warms your heart. Day 26 to 30. The finishing touch. Each day, choose one small area that bothers you most. Maybe a drawer, a corner, or a shelf. Clear it completely. By day 30, you'll have transformed not just your home, but your energy and your peace of mind. The beauty of this plan is that it's not overwhelming. 15 to 20 minutes a day is enough. You don't need to empty your whole house. You just need steady progress. By the end of these 30 days, you'll notice more than just a tidier home. You'll notice calmer mornings, lighter evenings, and a deeper sense of freedom. And that's the gift this plan is meant to give you. Decluttering is powerful, but here's the truth. Keeping the clutter away is where the real transformation happens. Many seniors tell me they feel good after a big clear-out, only to watch the clutter creep back in over time. That's why experts stress the importance of building simple, lasting habits. The first tip is the one-in, one-out rule. Each time you bring something new into your home, a blouse, a book, or a kitchen gadget, let one old item go. This gentle balance keeps your space from filling up again. The second tip is to create homes for your essentials. Keys always go in the same dish by the door. Glasses return to the same shelf. Medications stay in one basket. When items have a home, your brain doesn't waste energy searching. Third, practice the 15-minute reset. Before bed, spend just 15 minutes putting things back where they belong. It doesn't sound like much, but over weeks and months, it keeps your home peaceful and prevents overwhelm. Another powerful habit is the seasonal check-in. At the start of each new season, spring, summer, fall, and winter, take an hour to walk through your home. Notice what feels crowded or unnecessary, and let go of a few things. It's a gentle way to stay on top of clutter without ever facing mountains again. Finally, give yourself permission to enjoy the space you've created. Fill it with fresh flowers, display a photo you love, or simply sit and breathe in the calm. This reminds your heart why you decluttered in the first place, and keeps you motivated to stay clutter-free. Staying free of clutter isn't about being perfect. It's about building small, sustainable habits that support your peace of mind every single day. By now, you've seen that decluttering is about far more than a tidy home. It's about emotional freedom. Every object we let go of is more than just space gained. It's a weight lifted from the heart. Many seniors carry silent burdens in the form of clutter. Clothes that no longer fit, yet remind us of the body we once had. Gifts we never used but feel guilty discarding. Boxes of memories that quietly whisper of loss or longing. These items don't just take up physical space. They drain our energy and keep us tethered to emotions we may not even notice day to day. When you release what no longer serves you, you give yourself permission to live in the present. You honor your past, but you also say, "My life today matters just as much as yesterday did." And that shift brings incredible peace. I remember a woman who, after donating her late husband's extra clothes, told me with tears in her eyes, "I finally feel like I can breathe again." She hadn't lost him twice. She had freed her heart from the constant weight of grief staring back at her every morning. That's the gift decluttering offers. And it's not just about what you let go of. It's about what you gain. Mornings that start with clarity instead of chaos, evenings spent in peace instead of stress, and homes that feel like sanctuaries instead of storage units. This joy of less is what experts want every senior to experience. It's not about emptiness. It's about fullness. A full life, free from distractions, where your time, your energy, and your heart are focused on what truly matters today. Decluttering isn't just a task. It's a path to emotional healing, clarity, and dignity in the later years of life. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to leave you with this. Decluttering isn't just about what you let go, it's about what you gain. You gain peace of mind, more freedom to move, safer spaces to live in, and the dignity of knowing your home truly serves you, not the other way around. If you've ever felt that heaviness when walking through your home, that sense of being surrounded by too much, know this: you don't have to carry it into tomorrow. Every drawer cleared, every paper recycled, every item donated is a small victory. And those victories add up to a life that feels lighter, calmer, and more joyful. But here's the important part: don't wait. 2025 is your year to step into freedom. Even one small action today, a single bag of clutter removed, can be the spark that changes your whole perspective. So I encourage you, take that first step tonight. Clear one corner, one drawer, one surface. Breathe in the relief, and let it remind you of the peace waiting on the other side. And if this video resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, a sister, or someone in your life who may also be struggling under the weight of clutter. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more guidance, encouragement, and practical steps created just for seniors like you. Remember, your best years aren't behind you. They're right here, waiting for you in the clear space you create. Decluttering is not about losing. It's about gaining the life, freedom, and peace you deserve. Take that step. You're ready.